Well, hello again, everybody, from a wet but looks like we might be out of the woods rain-wise. Don't want to speak too soon, but a damp field out there at the Willamalane Center, and a bit of an improvised setup up here to keep most things dry, although Gabriel and myself are out here exposed to the elements. So it is the Washington Crossfire and Lane United Football Club in the last PDL game of the season for both teams, and it's been a bit of an up and down year, I think, to kind of put it mildly, for each of these two teams. Both of them out of playoff contention and hanging around down at the lower half of the PDL table. Lane United with 8 points from 10 games, Washington Crossfire with 6 from 10 games. So both of these teams have it took a little bit to sort of find their stride, but Lane United really playing much better as of late, and boy, no better evidence of that than that 2-0 win the last time we saw them play against one of the league's best teams in the Portland Timbers.
Absolutely. Lane United were able to become the aggressor against the good Portland Timbers team, and were able to do it through majority of the first half, majority of the second half, and were rewarded with a couple of great goals and a sort of a great little bit closure to getting that ice broken against a bigger club. So kudos to them for that, but obviously this is a new day, and these 3 points are much needed going in against Crossfire. And
it is a Washington Crossfire team that, to put it mildly, has a bit of a history with Lane United. This is the team that Lane United played against earlier in the season, where Brendan Anderson had to end up playing 30 minutes of goal, which is never a sentence that you want to have to say. Anderson, for those that don't know, not a goalkeeper, but Matt Bersano suspended for that game, and Chris Lowermore sent off for making a save with his hands well outside the box, and these things happen at lower levels. Lane United attacking immediately with the blistering shot up and over the bar, less than a minute into this one. Reds in their white uniforms today, going back to the look that they had against Portland, and the all-black look for the Washington Crossfire. Any opening thoughts on this one?
Well, if you're Lane United, you want to see Pantoja get involved immediately, like we just saw, so that's a good sign. But he sort of faded in the last game. Had they had him a little bit more involved, I think the game would have been a little bit more lopsided by scoreline, that is. But you know, getting him, Baldo involved immediately, and really sort of sorting out the midfield, playing through those three players. And then once you attract that attention, you can start using your outside backs. But really getting all those midfielders involved in the attack, because all of them are capable of putting in the back of the net.
And you mentioned those midfield dynamos for Lane United, Alex Pantoja and Josep Baldoví. They'll be getting a trial with the USL Pro Wing of Real Salt Lake, Monarchs SLC. Expect them, though, to finish out the rest of the season with Lane United, which is not always the case when folks get called up at this level. We saw it last year with Kiri Shelton, and this year with Will Seymour. They can disappear in the middle of the season sometimes, but Baldo and Pantoja will get to finish out the year. Have some more immediate pressure from Washington Crossfire, and we'll do our best when the game gets toward that end of the field, but our sight line very much obstructed by the tent that's keeping our computers and sound equipment dry, so a little bit of squatting up and down, trying to be able to see under the tent. Throw-in coming for the Washington Crossfire. 2.5 minutes into this one, no score. This game also puts two of the best scorers in the league against each other. You know all about Timothy Mueller, but no slouch himself is Hazma Haddadi for the Washington Crossfire. 7 goals in his 10 games. That's just one behind Timmy Mueller, who is tied for second in the league with 8 goals. Although Mueller's 8 goals have come in only 9 games, so a little bit better goals per game mark than some of the other folks with 8.
And that duo up top, if you remember, the key is for them not to become the same player, Jones and Mueller, but for one to sort of complement the other with good movement off the ball, attract some attention, create some space for the other to exploit. We saw a little bit of it our last time together, and already today you can kind of see that they look more natural, more comfortable with one another. They know each other's movements, their tendencies. So keep some focus on those two, and let's see if we can start to see. Already Jones becomes the space maker, we could say, and Mueller is in behind. So let's focus our attention to those two, and if you do see some unpredictable play where one's creating for the other, you will see some more opportunities on goal.
And hopefully more goals as well. And we talk about that combination of Jones and Mueller, great teammates with each other at Oregon State, but some health issues keeping Jordan Jones out of most of the season, and that a big part of kind of a storyline for Lane United. You have some of your big names. Baldoví missed a bunch of time. Jordan Jones missed a bunch of time. And, when you have a duo like that Lane United was expecting big things because they have strikers that were previously teammates, and then to not have them combined for most of the year has been unfortunate, but good to see them back together now as Baldoví plays back to his defense.
I think it's been obvious that once they get together and are all healthy, it makes quite the difference. They look much more comfortable on the ball. Possession through all three lines, defending, midfield, and the higher attacking line, much more fluid and more fun to watch. I could tell you that, because there's more options, more unpredictable play, but more control to the game in the attack. So that being said, let's hope to see more of it tonight.
And we'll see what else Lane United can create. They try to play it over the top, but Mueller not able to get to it. He just has to pressure and force the Crossfire to knock that out of play. Mueller, another player whose name may be moving around the professional ranks. We'll get to that in a moment, as that one was chipped through for Jones, and the story yet to be written on Timothy Mueller, but his name been thrown around a lot with Sporting Kansas City, and that would be you can certainly see his talent translating to the MLS. Big, strong, physical, fast guy who knows how to finish too, and those things don't always go together. You see a lot of guys who are just big and fast and strong, and Mueller's got the nice touch as well.
Yeah, that's a rare quality to have in this country, especially as a big, tall, physical striker. So well done to him in his youth, polishing off that.
And good job by Vandervelde there, running in space to create something. Baldo got it to him, and it creates another throw-in for Lane United. Right back to the vicinity of Baldoví, who may didn't win a corner. In fact, it's kept in play, so Crossfire to move out. Good header from Christian De Luis. Speaking of big, strong, tall guys, De Luis is built like an absolute truck in the center of the defense. And loose ball there may still create danger, but the flag goes up. Shot came through, but it would not have counted. You get to see much on that offside?
Nah, he got called off by the head ref, so I don't know if it was just letting play go on, but he did initially put his flag up for an offside, I think.
Goal kick comes there, and Crossfire to start again.
So right now, Crossfire not really moving their outside backs up, just letting everyone ahead of the ball, ahead of the defensive line, do all the attacking, which can be limited. So we'll see if Crossfire make an adjustment and push their outside backs higher. But at the moment, they're just running with a 4v6 against 6 Lane United backs. So that's a good advantage for Lane United, and I'm sure they're more than happy to defend the rest of the half that way.
Mueller called offside there. The kick came directly from Bersano, and
looked close. That looked close.
It looked very close. The company line is that we didn't have the same angle the official did, and we'll leave it at that.
Yes.
All right, Lane United, no stranger to playing direct like that, and that ball kind of caught up there in the wind and was nearly a very nice piece of play.
Yeah, Bersano noticed the high line. If you're listening or if you're watching, pay attention to Crossfire's back line. If they tend to push higher, we've all seen Mueller see that, exploit it, take advantage of it, and really enjoy that type of defensive stand, because he tends to get on the other end of it and bury it in 1v1s. Now, if they start to understand, or if they've scouted Lane United, they'll understand that Mueller is bread and butter is sort of that run. So we'll see if they start to drop off a little bit, creating more space for our combination play in the midfield.
And that is part of the Department of Unintended Consequences of having a broadcast. Not every team at this level has 90 minutes of video from every game. More of them do. More of them do certainly than would have 3 or 4 years ago even, but not everybody, and not sure how much that gets used in other locker rooms, but it's certainly a training tool for John Gallus and company to be able to point to.
Sure, yeah.
Hurtado with a touch in the middle there. And a foul eventually called, to a free kick for Lane United.
Oh, good turn by Baldo.
Baldo to Jordan Jones. Tries to play it for Mueller, but not quite there.
I'm already liking the Baldo Pantoja midfield, with Binder in there, but I like their creative juices. You can tell they're flowing already, and they're attempting to really make an imbalance up top by joining Jones and Mueller. So I wouldn't be a rocket scientist, but I'm going to say that a goal or two might come through one of those players.
Yeah, the goals for Lane United tend to come from one of those players in particular, but Baldo's found the back of the net as well.
It just already looks like something's going to happen with his or Pantoja's play. Their savviness, I should say, is starting to show. So,
and that's what we expected to see from the Armada of Spaniards brought back by the Gallus, is just maybe that extra little dose of just pure technical ability that's missing in some of the players otherwise.
And their brains. I think that's a huge part. Reading the game, understanding, what the flow of the game is, or the pressures offering you, and then problem solving. And that's a piece of the game that is extremely hard to. Well, that's really what defines a professional soccer player. The technique is great, but the ability to read the game and solve problems and quickly is the most valuable tool. So that's why I think they have made the trip over, and as of lately, John's enjoying watching them play.
And they get it to Baldo, and now to Dirk van der Velde, who's been another one of the key performers for Lane United this season. He's kind of one of those guys. He might not be the MVP, so to speak, but when he plays well, the team plays well.
Yes, that is very true.
And we'll take the free kick from the appropriate spot on the field. Referee is rather particular about that.
Yeah, we'll see what they do with this. The wind's kind of a factor right now, but I imagine a ball driven into the top of the six for Jones and Mueller.
Two big targets there certainly to shoot for.
De Luis also in there, so plenty of targets.
And it's deflected and will stay in play, so Pantoja has to keep it alive. Knocked it right back to a black shirt. And it's promptly cleared. Into touch throw in Lane United. Van der Velde takes. And right back to him. Back to Mueller, Jones, who's grabbed onto there. And it's going to roll all the way back to the keeper for the Crossfire. Played off a hand there.
Last game against the Timbers, Baldo did a good job of finding the right side of the field, and as you can see already today, he's starting to see space and pick on the space in between the left center back of Crossfire and the left back of Crossfire. There seems to be a gap there that he likes to play in, so he naturally floats to it, and he loves to exploit it, and he's already like 2 for 2 so far, so that could be the way in.
Great job there to keep it alive by Pantoja. Keeps possession as well. And no foul there, but somehow it's still with Pantoja. He gets it into the box. And Jones played it for Mueller. Now they'll slow it down a little bit. Will Lane United try and get it back again toward the box, and has to be headed defensively for a corner kick. But not a bad 15 seconds there for the Reds.
No, it's just good work. Getting up the line, establishing the outsides.
And looks like Alex Pantoja in a little bit of discomfort. And we will continue to monitor. And we will indeed have the trainer come out to take a peek. And you are, of course, watching this game on YouTube. YouTube is the league's official online video home, offering live games and feature content. You can subscribe for free to the PDL YouTube channel today. You can also become a fan of the PDL on Facebook. Visit facebook.com/USL PDL for exclusive league news and interactive content. And, of course, follow at USL PDL on Twitter to become a PDL League insider, join club conversations, and track notable alumni throughout their pro career. Or always stay up to date with what is happening throughout the league at USLPDL.com. As Pantoja's got a boot off and will move to the touchline here. Corner comes in. Nearly got to the heads. And now right back to the touchline as Bersano trots his way back to his goal. Thrown in by Crossfire. And now trying to build from the back are Washington Crossfire. Lane United have had a bit more of the possession so far and the only real shot of the game, but that went quite over the goal. 15 minutes in here to this last game of the PDL season for Lane United, but they have one more home game, one final exhibition against an Evergreen Premier League foe, so the penultimate broadcast of our season. And we thank each and every one of you that's been along with the ride for us the whole time.
Jones is in a lot of space. Mueller's sort of drifted, but Jones is always in a lot of space in transition. So Crossfire leaving that one alone, which is dangerous.
DeLuise with a shot there, falling a little bit out of control, but good movement by Lane United to get him there. And key piece in that sequence was Matthias Binder, and he had a huge role off the bench in that 2-0 win over the Portland Timber U23s.
Yeah, he was an immediate impact. He wanted to attack. His first touch, I believe, was right at goal, and then he played a great diagonal ball in to set up a great goal. So he's an impact player, very effective.
Clock seems to be frozen at 15 again. There we go. That does happen here. Not sure what sport that board was originally programmed for, but not this one.
Now let's see if the center backs or Crossfire get too spread out and the outside back doesn't recognize that they're leaving Jones or Mueller 1v1.
Lane again in the whites today. If you're trying to figure out who this team is, who this team in the not red and white is. I suppose it's still white and red, but not how we're used to seeing it. Velde playing a little bit of catch with Pantoja.
Pantoja not looking comfortable with the previous injury, so I wonder if someone starts warming up on the sideline there to make that sub.
In fact, we do have a warm body on the touchline, so we'll try and get an ID as soon as we can.
It's Devontae, I think.
Devontae Small, nice speedy midfielder. One too high for Baldo to track down. DeLuise gets that one back towards Matthew Bersano. Bersano made the honorable mention for last week's PDL Team of the Week. Made a couple of big stops against Portland, and including probably what it was Lane United's save of the season, and about the 84th, 85th minute or so to preserve that shutout. 2-1 would have still felt good against Portland, but 2-0 is going to make its way into the Lane United history books. That game, the win of the season at this point.
Yeah, but that's why his team is so confident in front of him. Those type of saves really allow his team to take more risk in the attack and feel comfortable leaving some numbers, not leaving too many numbers behind because of his presence. So, that was a crucial save in that game that goes a long way.
And worth noting one more time, if you weren't with us at the beginning of the match, that the last time these two teams played, Matthew Bersano was not in goal. He was serving a suspension for making a last-man tackle earlier on in that week, and there wasn't any regular goalkeeper in goal by the end of it, as Chris Lowermore also was sent off of that one, leaving Brendan Anderson to finish out in goal. So Lane United scored first in that game, but ended up losing 3-1, but very different circumstances so far today. And speaking of Bersano, he makes a nice stop there.
Yeah, that was the best attack by Crossfire so far. Threw numbers forward, established an outside back into the mix, and were able to get nearly beat Bersano near post.
Mueller onside in a lot of space moving into the box. He will take it directly, and not quite. But keeper had a little bit to do with that one.
Yeah, keeper had the near post. From what I remember, and you had the near post covered, and Mueller decided to go low and far post. That's what you're told to do as a striker, low and far post. Maybe it's a little bit harder. That doesn't happen. That save doesn't happen, but it was a tough angle to start off with. He did the best he could there.
And he's got some time left to play with here.
Yeah.
Still get his requisite goal or two. And foul called there as someone breathed on the keeper.
Refs always protect the keepers.
And you know what? They should. It's a nice little fun thing to poke fun at, but you're in a vulnerable position as a goalkeeper.
Yeah. So Crossfire going out, playing out of the back. Not much pressure by Lane United on the outside backs, so sort of letting him into midfield without any pressure. But Crossfire having an issue breaking that defensive block in the defending third of Lane United. So they're going to need to add some more movement, off-the-ball movement, more space creation, and then some faster ball circulation to be able to break that down.
And there's a little bit of dribbling from Devontae Small. Gets it back to Van der Velde, and now back toward De Luis again, and all the way back. So fresh start for Lane United, played out toward the wing, and now back for Mueller in the middle again as he tries to win the race to it. Causes a little bit of problems for the center back there.
That's a good matchup though for Mueller. He just won that just from physical, ability. His work rate was good, but his physique was able to push the defender off the ball and hold that up for Lane United. That's something you want to focus on if you're Lane United and see if you can exploit that mismatch even more.
And trying to create a triangle there was Lane United, and almost
it's coming.
A tap there, and you sense the goal is
yes.
There haven't been that many sequences for Lane United this year where you could have that much of a tangible sense that something was coming. Things have happened, but they seem sometimes to happen more in a flash for this team, but a definite build-up so far today. Up and out of play again, and that's a good thing because would have had no angle on the goal.
No, and he only had 3 in the box versus 6 white, so that was one of their. It was an attack, but it was with lower numbers. So they need to Crossfire need to go back to the anxious and the urgent side that wanted or to push at least 6 players in the box.
And again, we'll repeat it once more, just in case Lane United do end up taking the 1-0 lead that they look like they can smell. It would not be the first time they've led this team 1-0, so not a game where one goal will get the job done. Although the bigger focus for Lane United is hoping they don't have anyone sent off. Hopefully not a keeper, and certainly not 2.
No. It's sort of a rare thing to happen in a game, but it's PDL. Things happen, I guess.
Well, and how about this for rare things to happen? The last time these two teams played in Eugene, pull it up here. I want to get this story as right as we can. The last time these two teams played in Eugene, Washington's GM ended up being sent off for verbally abusing a Lane United player who he himself had already been red carded. So
wow,
that's a story only in the PDL.
Nice. So potential for some late fireworks is what you're saying.
Potential. The Seattle game comes to mind a little bit.
Yes.
And we'll see what more happens here and if we get any other fun stories to tell Mom about.
So last couple attacking sequences for Lane United, all you've seen is direct play. Baldo was on the last one. It was a ball over the top on a long diagonal. The last one was Mueller getting played over the top. Now you've made yourself predictable. And so if you're Lane United, you need to go back to, looking at that, but also looking to play a little smaller, a little shorter in front of their back line. So it sort of sacrifices the center back. He has to come forward and make a play on the ball. But this direct over the top is only good if there's balance, and right now the attack is only direct. So you need to incorporate another dimension.
Crossfire trying to build their first sustained attack, and they lose possession here. Lane United will take it. Played again for Vanderbilt, long ball, and trying to find Mueller, gets there. Now back for Hurtado. Hurtado for Casey ChubbFertal. Brief touch from Casey. And whistle goes there. It's against the Washington Crossfire. 25 minutes into this one. Towards Devontae Small. He tries to get it in, and everyone made the right play.
I like that. Yeah, he had an angle, it looked like, and he was in stride. His footwork was good, and why not? I mean, if he would have hit that, and it looked like he was going far post. If he got all of it. If that gets by that defender, that's maybe hitting the post and going in, or it's side netting, or it deflects and someone taps it in.
Could have been easily a deflection there for sure. Instead, it's a corner kick, and that's just as well.
Yes.
So Baldo's service got to the head of Jordan Jones, but not on target. Goal kick for the visitors. Good crowd on hand today, despite a slightly wet set of bleachers.
Yeah.
And the weekday game's always a little bit tougher to get folks out to. So here again come Crossfire. Playing direct down the wing there and stepping over the ball as it's out of play. Not too much for Lane United to dodge there. So the Reds have their entire bench up and getting loose. John Gallus and Connor Capoletti with a conversation. And back for Devontae Small, Lane United trying to move up. Small still with it. Now he gets the touch, and now back to Vanderbilt again. This is a good run, utilizing that near side wing. Back to Jordan Jones. Jones dances around, gets the shot that tracks along the ground through the box, and it's going to be a throw-in.
Teammates didn't anticipate Jones getting that across the box, and they should know better. He usually does well in those situations and usually comes out the victor. So having faith that your teammate's going to win that battle and go ahead and get into the box and tap that in.
Mueller chases that down, back for...
Good work by Vandervelde, though, on the outside here, number 23.
And now back to Bender. We got a text that says the screen is black. If you can hear us and not see anything, we are working on it. Again, have a bit of an improvised setup today with the weather, so we'll troubleshoot as well as we can and try and give you the radio broadcast. Foul at midfield. It is. All indications are it's working fine. So being told from our producers that we should be good. Nice job there to get in front of it, but couldn't take it all the way away. And Crossfire with a chance to set up an attack. They'll try and be a little bit deliberate here. And now to the box. Nice little move there to get it halfway out, but still in the box and still dangerous. And now finally Bersano gets in front of it. Headed away, out of play, throw in for the home side. Richie Hurtado on the ball. For Baldo B. Now back to Binder.
Some urgency to the game too. The tempo needs to go back up for Lane United, especially in the combination play. So once someone gets played in for maybe a through ball, that ball's off his foot quickly, and then the next play is either breaking a back line or finding a runner on the outside. And it's kind of, this urgency was there, and now it's kind of back to a slower tempo. But good things always happen with Lane, with the players that they have on the field when the tempo goes up and there's more urgency to combine forward.
Yeah, we certainly we saw a little more of that 10 minutes ago than we've seen since then, but Lane United, I think, still controlling this game as much as you can control a game that's still 0-0. Back for Stadler, and he plays it long. Tried to get it to Vandervelde, but it got lost in the wind. Still back for Devontae Small, who's tugged down from behind. That may warrant a booking. Just a lecture. You do need to do a fair amount to get booked at this level.
No, and this is about the same spot, maybe a little closer. About the same spot where Baldo was last set piece, where it deflected off the wall. So we'll see if they come up with a different plan or if it's still ping it into Mueller, ChubbFertal, Jones. De Luis is going to stay home this time.
And they'll go for it. Mueller making a run, and they get it towards Jordan Jones, and he goes through a defender and earns himself a foul.
Yeah, it looked like he lowered his shoulder. Got a little too aggressive, a little too anxious to score that one.
30th minute of play. 1/3 of the way into this one. Still no score. And these are teams, again, that both rely very heavily on their leading scorers. We'll see who we can get to find the back of the net today. Devontae Small for Jordan Jones. To his chest. Jones had the shot, but it was blocked by the center back there.
That was good. Good long diagonal ball. Jones accommodated it with his chest. All around very good.
And in the middle there, Crossfire want a free kick called, and they'll get it. Lane United FC would like to thank its official jersey, beer, and broadcast sponsor, Oakshire Brewing of Eugene. We'd also like to take this moment to remind you that today's broadcast is brought to you in part by KMTR News Store 16 in Eugene. KMTR is Lane United's official media partner. So free kick coming here. Looks like they will try and play it toward the box. Any thoughts, Gabe?
They'll drive it in far post.
There it is. It gets directly through. I don't think that was the intention, but Bersano will easily collect it. And he throws it out. Stadler for ChubbFertal to Hurtado. Back to ChubbFertal. And Hurtado with it again. Tried to play it through, but no one making a run that time. Just building slowly from the back, our Crossfire. And United kind of watching and not wanting to let them do too much, but no particular urgency here as the Reds do get possession. Hurtado gets it to Mueller, who tried to play the back heel for Baldo V.
Crossfire is still a little slow with their outside backs getting higher on the weak side, not providing an outlet once it gets jammed up on one side.
Binder, good job to get it to Baldoví. Baldoví to Devante Small, who ran past it but was able to go back and collect it. And now Vandervelde making the run. Instead, they get it to Baldo in the center of the field. And now back to Hurtado, who is playing in that kind of holding midfield role today. It's a role we saw Will Seymour play earlier in the season, and Seymour now with the Vancouver Whitecaps organization. The FC Dallas draft pick, and not entirely sure how that all works out, but the transfer and personnel rules in American soccer are notoriously unique, let's just say. The important part is he's playing pro ball somewhere. This is dangerous for the Crossfire and behind the goal, so maybe not so much.
Yeah, that was really dangerous. It was a good little individual effort by Crossfire in the middle to beat his man, and then outlet that to the outside to get a slotted, or yeah, I think he went for the near post there, but ideally he would have gone far post.
Crossfire going back and forth with it here, moving up the pitch. And now again, Binder on the wing. Binder, quick little player there, gets it back to Baldoví, who thinks about a shot and takes one, and that was closer than it may have looked on screen.
It was good. He was able to get a little closer to the goal, which normally I think he receives deeper on the pitch. So now he made himself a little higher up, and man, if that goes a couple inches to the left, we're saying something different on air.
Something very different indeed.
But it's good to see that he's thinking spatially. He's becoming a little bit smarter today, getting higher.
So goal kick will not make its way out to midfield as it got caught up in the wind there. Wind is something we have mentioned at this facility a couple of times, and there's really just not that much to get in the way of it. So it does tend to swirl around a little bit, particularly in front of that field house there on the opposite end of the pitch where there is something to block the wind, and it just bounces right back off of it sometimes.
Yeah.
Middle of a big field here, basically. Get it towards Mueller and can't collect, cleared by Crossfire.
So it seems Crossfire is starting to read the Mueller-Jones diagonal run with the direct ball over the top. So if it's going to continue to happen, the next best thing for Lane United is for the teammates, Mueller's teammates that are in the near proximity to recognize where the second ball is going to fall. And right there was a perfect opportunity where Mueller goes up and flicks on, but there's not a body to fill the space. So, it's definitely a quality that some of the players that Lane United have to read that and get on the other end of that ball.
And could have been dangerous there, but I think the Crossfire player fell down and got kind of blocked by the tent there, so not entirely sure. But the end result is a Lane United attack. Timothy Mueller trying to get around a man, takes a shot, and look out on the baseball field.
Soccer's not recruiting well if we hit a baseball kid.
No, all this ground that soccer has made up in this country, and you take out a little leaguer and you bring yourself back 10 years.
More hatred, yeah.
As much as I love baseball, though, I think it's kind of the one sport that can't criticize soccer's lack of continuous action. Good job there by Vandervelde, and, well, he did it with his hand, says the referee. And the referees directly in front of us do not agree.
No, that could have been that's a break for Crossfire. Vandervelde was in a 1v nobody, plenty of space in front of him, and that probably would end up in the back of the net. But you move on. Good run though, good urgency to get forward.
And it's it's those things that you like to see, and it's encouraging to see them even if they don't work out due to any variety of reasons. Again, we'll say what we're told to say is that we didn't have the same angle as the referee, and that's the end of our referee analysis. You at home, however, do not have to play by those rules. Encourage you with any thoughts you have on anything at all. Make full use of that social stream there and Let us know where you're watching the game from, who you're watching it with, anything like that, and we'll try and relay some of it back to you all at halftime. Devontae Small's ball in there.
Yeah, the attack's a little too long for Lane United. It's too much long diagonal, too many long diagonal balls, but it's not the problem of the passer. It's more the movement of just providing that and only that. Getting a player to come across and support the ball a little closer might erase the initial thought to play long. So let's see if maybe at halftime there's an adjustment there. Some more immediate support. Careful here.
Oh, that one indeed dangerous and forced Bersano to leap. I'm not really sure there would have been much he could have done if that was on target.
No, that would have been in the upper 90.
Postage stamp goal, as they say, but a little bit over, and that's against the rules. So Lane United take a free kick. They take it pretty quickly, and we'll just try and build again these short, compact passes, trying to pull Crossfire out of position.
Which they did, but then kept going back to that same pressure. So there was space on Vandervelde's side here on the right to exploit, but a little too slow circulating the ball.
And that's that kind of next level confidence that we talked about last week.
Sure.
Lane United need to develop the confidence to make those passes in the middle third and the attacking third just as smoothly as they do when they're passing it among their own defense.
Right, and always with the purpose, always to move the defender or the opponent and then exploit them. Not just to move them and keep them there and play into them.
Well, here our Crossfire threatening shot comes through and up and over, and in fact Bersano got a paw to it.
Bersano with the new look today.
Yeah, less man bun than we're used to seeing.
Yeah. I think there's a mustache included too.
So we go into squat mode to try and see this corner from underneath the tent. Come through from the far side. Most of the outfield players on the pitch are in the box. Corner comes through and comes out to the edge of the box. Tried to shoot it through immediately again. We're Crossfire, and now if Lane United could have gotten in front of that one, they'd have had a 2-on-1 for 50 yards. Instead, it's a Crossfire attack again. Maybe the best spell of play for the Crossfire so far this last 2 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And now Binder with it. Binder, another very heady player.
The key to I think both teams right now is just being less static in the attack. You can see a lot of players staying in the same space that they're demanding the ball in, and that's too easy to defend at this level. So less static attacking and more sort of dynamic movement ahead of the ball.
And Vandervelde now trying to get it forward and does somehow get possession back. And will still be Lane United ball after it was knocked out of play by the Crossfire. Last 5 minutes of the first half. No score between the Washington Crossfire and Lane United Football Club. Lane United at home in white, Washington on the road in black. These teams played once before this season, and it was a 3-1 win for the Crossfire, with some asterisks that we have talked about ad nauseum. Moving up the pitch. Crossfire and Lane United, again, both rely on one player in particular for their goals. It's Timothy Mueller for Lane United, and it's the number 10, Hazma Haddadi, for the Crossfire. Whistle comes there, and it's going to be Lane United's ball moving out.
Remember the sign up for Lane United.
Crossfire showing some more composure in the attack, getting numbers forward, having patience, circulating the ball, and a little bit less static on that one, a little bit more movement to provide another angle of attack. So if I'm Crossfire, I stick to that recipe.
Mueller wins the throw there, 43rd minute. As Lane United try and line up the perfect situation here, they'll take their time with the throw, go directly into the box, and that was between Jones and Mueller.
So we're in the momentum minutes now. Time for a good momentum goal.
Yeah, the first and the last 5 minutes of the half, if you can score there, you'll make your coach quite happy. Your fans too, and that's of no small importance for Lane United, one of the better supported clubs in this Northwest Division, and in fact really the PDL. And when you get them going, it's a much different place to play than when they're a little bit stagnant. How to play, throw in Crossfire. And Vandervelde in defense there and trying to get it out of play off of a Crossfire body, and they do, so Lane United take the throw in. And foul called there against Jordan Jones. To play once more. It's the Reds throw-in. It's going to be a real adventure for you and I in the second half here. Lane United will be attacking there, and heads up, that tarp may save us.
Might need a heat lamp here for the second half.
Yeah, that's supposed to be my line, but do not disagree. Would have been a lot different if I were not able to borrow a rain jacket from Chris Burke. So,
thank you, Chris.
Media coordinator, producer, Twitter guy, stylist.
There you go.
He's everything for the Lane United broadcast crew.
All right, here's Vandervelde in some great space, but needs support.
Vandervelde chipped in for Baldo. Baldo turns back around, still with it for Devontae Small. Devontae Small's shot, and that was bending a little bit, but not quite enough.
Yeah, it was close. Baldo, though, you could see it in his mind that he wanted to lay it off to Devontae and then get ahead of it and ask for it back, but he hesitated, and he would have walked in had that run been made. But maybe it could have been fatigue. Maybe he saw something different, but he was definitely in.
Well, we've reached first half stoppage time here, and of course, as it always is at the Willamalane Center, with no official fourth officials board, absolutely anybody's guess how much stoppage time we'll play. And the answer is not very much. That'll do it for the first half. It was a half with no goals and not a tremendous amount of shots on target, but some really good spells for Lane United.
Yeah, they had some good possession in the attacking third. But I think really the key to both teams is just making this feel like a competitive game. I mean, it's the same tempo from both teams, and not enough urgency by players to want to go for it and take that risk and get in the box and put it away. Because really, one goal for either team, and this could turn into multiple goals, or because of momentum and the way teams are kind of down with the tempo. So
absolutely, you get the sense it's a game that could change very quickly. Well, we're going to take the headsets off for a little bit and try to strategize how in the world we're going to watch the second half with the tent in our way. So, Lane United 0, Crossfire 0 after 45 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Is
We good? You hear us?
yeah, but
You hear? Good, okay. I don't know why we didn't just do this from the start. Well, welcome back for the second half. We've found the new location, and hey, look at this. We can see the whole field, so that's going to improve matters quite a lot. Crossfire starting with possession here, and we'll get that clock started for the fans as soon as we can as well. No score after the first half, and we'll see what happens in the second half. It was a half that Lane United seemed to mostly control, but just getting that final ball in, that final shot on goal, proved a little bit challenging. Matthias Binder with the touch here. Binder much welcomed when he can play well and really turn his play on. Crossfire on the wings into the box now. And the shot comes through, deflected off a body and cleared partially by Lane United, but headed right back in and right back out. A little bit of hot potato there. And now Devontae Small was subbed on for the injured Alex Pantoa with a little bit of a touch. Goes all the way back for the Crossfire keeper there.
we'll see if which team decides to become the aggressor in this half, come out with a little more urgency to push forward, get numbers forward, take more risk, because I think both teams are in need of those 3 points. But you know, for Lane, it's finding, you know, Baldo's feet, really like picking on mismatches. And I think Baldo was in a mismatch. I think Jones and Mueller both have already found themselves in 1v1s where they're physically more capable and have won most of those 50-50 balls. So really seeking out those matchups and trying to exploit them early on too.
And played there directly towards Mueller, and it's cleared away by Crossfire. You know, the Portland game last time we played, that was scoreless at this point as well, and then in pretty quick succession, Lane United were able to score 2 goals. So just sort of goes to show you that either one of these teams can still come away with a pretty dominant win, at least on the scoreline.
Yeah, you read my mind. It's the same feel as the Timbers game, the same tempo, but that changed very quickly once Lane decided to play a little bit more faster and circulate the ball a little bit faster going up front. So be prepared for maybe a breakout goal here.
And Binder takes a shot that was ambitious, shall we say.
Yeah, well, he's more than capable of doing that. It was almost the same spot where he had the assist last game, but this time went with the shot over the pass.
And goal kick played there over the head of Hurtado. And Dirk van der Velde in possession of it and loses it. But taken right back away by Lane United, and well, I better just stop saying who has the ball as it keeps changing there. Nice tackle there, out of play. Another throw in for the Crossfire. 2.5 minutes into the second half. And good job for Devontae Small to knock it forward. Mueller tried to get to that, but good desperation move there on defense, and it's going to be a throw-in for big number 14.
Yeah, I'm just going on on your point there about the transitions. There's been a lot of giveaways by both teams, but I think Lane's done a better job of connecting in transition. So after the ball has been won back, not being frantic and giving it up again, but trying to go forward, but at the same time just trying to secure ball possession so you can spend more time, manipulating the other team. And Crossfire, not so much. There's a transition and the ball's typically lost a lot, just like you are observing right now. So being the smarter team that can connect and have that composure right after a transition is crucial in a game. Wow.
Well, here's a break with significant numbers for Crossfire. Their most dangerous opportunities so far, and good job there. Casey ChubbFertal in defense. Or is that Stadler?
So is that Justin Schmidt with the pace up top? He's an impressive player when he goes in 1v0, 1v1 situations there. Something to note.
Football tackle there from the Crossfire, so Lane United will get the free kick, and I think Bersano is just going to take it and allow Lane United to start from scratch here in the 50th minute. Gets it to Stadler and back to Bersano, and now back over for ChubbFertal. ChubbFertal and Binder on the far side now, or the near side now rather. Playing catch along the back line are the Reds, trying to find the right ball to play. And Binder keeps it in right back to ChubbFertal. And ChubbFertal right back to Stadler. No movement yet on either bench in the second half. Subs aplenty in the PDL. Each coach getting 6. Good move there. And taken again away, but just briefly by Crossfire. Lane United moving back now. Devontae Small tried to play a through ball there. Gets back for Lane United. Shot comes through, and diving save made there.
It's good by Baldo. Although I thought the sequence before when ChubbFertal decided to go a little higher, it helped support that attack. Seeing him get higher up the field by recognizing when there's space and when his teammates need some support a little bit higher up and wide. I think he become a huge tool for this team, but he's a little hesitant to go forward tonight. That might be because of his matchup, but at the same time, I think he's just not seeing the game, seeing himself in the attack as much. So maybe that last sequence will get him hungry to go forward.
And our one more time, our next home game after this, it's going to be the last one of the year against the Evergreen Premier League side, Bellingham United. Or the last home game of the year anyway. Wednesday, July 15th is the last game of the season away at Calgary. Mueller, shot and up and over, but Timothy Mueller, always, always dangerous.
YouTube is the league's official online video home, offering live games and feature content. Subscribe for free to the PDL YouTube channel today.
Some subs warming up for Lynn United at the toward the corner flag there, just kind of stretching themselves out. De Luis will watch that one go out of play. Throw in for the Crossfire, 52nd minute. Now Lynn United moving forward with it. Good job to avoid the tackles there.
Good numbers here. Back post to Mueller.
And will they get the cross in? They don't, but they earn the corner kick, and again, sometimes just as well. So we'll see what they do. Baldo trots over to take it, as he does. We'll see. Still feels like Lane United in a little bit more control of this game, but either team can really stake a claim to that if they can get the first goal in.
Let's see if a second ball opportunity comes out of this.
Mueller's header right on goal, and he doesn't need no second opportunity, but that time right at the keeper. Headed up and forward, and again off each team's heads in the middle of the field. Crossfire trying to establish something, but it goes out of play. Throw in quickly taken by ChubbFertal to Binder. Hurtado with some touches. And now tried to play for Mueller, but miscommunication, but earning a throw-in is Lane United. Jordan Jones gets it and immediately has to try and beat 2 or 3 guys. Gets it to Mueller, and a shot from what is not necessarily Timmy Mueller territory, but pretty good effort from distance.
Yeah, he saw something, but that was wishful thinking there, I think.
And the goal kick to come. It has not gotten warmer as the sun has gone down.
No. But
It's
also,
only
something to say here about Richie. He's just been all over the place today, winning balls. He's done a good job of closing down space. He's done a good job of recovering anything his teammates have lost. So, sort of the unsung hero here in this game. I failed to mention him enough.
And in possession are the Crossfire here. And drawing a foul are the Crossfire, so we'll move forward. We've got perhaps the youngest red ace coming up to the scoreboard to let us know we have to have the 2 up there. Well done there. Good job paying attention. Being a little bit fancy there. Oh, good tackle from Binder, but couldn't get it. Now it does eventually get back to him. And Binder to Baldovi. Those two who do good things. Baldovi plays it to the wing.
It's a good ball.
Space now for Lane United. Jordan Jones wanted it on his head. Trying to get it to Baldo in the box, and Mace still as that hit off a couple bodies. Now finally cleared by Washington. And out of play will be the Crossfire throw-in. And, Lane United throw-in, and off the heads there. Trying to move forward exclusively by the header to Jordan Jones, and they do earn themselves 30 yards of possession or so, or field position. Throw-in coming parallel with the box for Lane United.
See if Casey ChubbFertal can get higher up the field. He's needed in this attack.
Shot comes through, and that one deflected. I think that Crossfire may have more saves made by their center backs than by their goalkeeper at this point. Ball's just hitting bodies, and now another chance on a bit of a counter-attack. Numerical advantage, great speed for Haddadi. He gets there and gets around ChubbFertal, but couldn't get it on goal. And eventually dribbles it out himself. So, good job there, cleaning up shop. 57th minute now. Matthias Binder for Baldovi. Back to Binder. Binder thought about darting up, instead slowed down, and now plays that ball, trying to find ChubbFertal on the wing, or Devontae Small there, rather. Crossfire knocking it around in the middle of the field, trying to develop something. Still trying to move forward, they go. And off the heads, and Jordan Jones knocks it down, and that's gonna be one that Timmy Mueller has to try and run out to, as did the Crossfire keeper, who just had to knock that significantly out of the facility.
You know, this is the type of game where I'd like to see a Dion Jones come on the field. He's a good creator of space, gives you a different look as a higher player up top, and will find the seams and the space around maybe a center back leaves or an outside back leaves, and really changes the game. So I wonder if later on we see him today or tonight to sort of change the attack, the look the attack is sort of providing us right now.
Yeah, see if he can maybe have that impact off the bench that Matthias Binder had in the last game for Lane United. And if there's anyone on the bench you want to bring in, he's probably pretty near the top of your list. Speedy little player with some great hair. Moved into the corner, and another throw-in for Lane United as they're just inching down the field. Devontae Small. Headed away in defense, but right back to Hurtado.
There he goes again, cleaning up a mess, getting his teammates the ball again.
Mueller's volley, he scores! That was absolutely brilliant for number 14.
Goal for Lane United FC, number 14, Timothy Mueller.
And, well, I think that celebration from Mueller spoke for itself, but what a gorgeous, gorgeous goal he scored there.
Yeah. Started though with the work of Hurtado figuring out how to win the ball back, recirculating that ball wide. And was that off of Vandervelde's foot across?
Looked like
Yeah,
it, and right back to Mueller's foot. And that looked pretty similar to the goal he scored against the Portland Timbers. Just got solid position and hit it first touch. And red smoke, my favorite thing.
So now we'll see urgency from both teams, I hope.
So we'll see what that changes as they play through the smoke now. And again, the rough estimation, Mueller's 938th goal in all competitions this year. We'll see what more he can do in the last 30 minutes of this game. That shirt, by the way, if you couldn't read it, did say "Happy Birthday, Bro." And off the side netting for Crossfire. We'll get you the actual number of that goal for Timmy Mueller in just a moment here. That was good number 9 in league play, which, assuming no other activity in the league at this point, as of right now, maybe good enough to move him into a tie for first PDL wide, not just the Northwest Division, and that's got a lot to do with why there's a lot of interest in Timmy Mueller, and a lot of interest shown, particularly we hear from Sporting Kansas City. A name you may want to remember. Stadler and ChubbFertal do a good job to keep it with Lane United. Now back to Hurtado and back to Binder. Intercepted there, though, as they were trying to get it through, and tempo picking up a little bit here from each team. Crossfire trying to respond. They get it to the box, and DeLuise with nearly a giveaway. How many nightmare goals have we seen like that? Now moving perhaps the wrong direction or Crossfire, now turning back to goal. And there's an extra soccer ball on the field. And it's gone.
I've seen
Bersano
stranger things on the field.
In this league especially, it is.
I've seen Vespas on the field, so a ball isn't too bad.
A Vespa, that may be a story we'll earmark for later.
That's Italy, though.
Crossfire again trying to respond. Mueller coming all the way back in defense, winning the ball, and it's a long run for Timmy. Binder has it knocked out of play. Throw in coming, substitution coming first for Lane United. We'll see who exits. It looks like Hurtado, perhaps. And it is Richie Hurtado leaving the game.
Substitution for Lane United FC coming in for number 8, Richie Hurtado. Number 16, Daley Stevens.
And it's Daley Stevens coming on to replace Hurtado. Stevens wearing number 16 for the Reds. And he'll immediately have some attack to worry about here. But drifting out of play, goal kick for Matthew Bersano. Daley Stevens, a South Eugene High School native, and great soccer program there. Couple of Axemen on this team, and many in the crowd as well. Bersano will take the goal kick. It's the whistle from the referee as we have our first appearance from a train of the game. If you may be able to hear the train horn through our mics.
So Binder doing Richie's job now, sort of the more holding midfielder, pushing Stevens and Baldo a little higher. So let's see if he can do the same dirty work that Richie did.
And will be another throw-in coming up for the home side, leading 1-0. The goal came from Timothy Mueller. Who else would it come from? About 5 minutes ago on a brilliant volley.
For the Washington Crossfire, coming in for number 17, Cody Gibson. Number 11, Ibrahim Drame.
Crossfire make a substitution now. Here they come up the field. It's Haddadi with it. Good job there, trying to move around ChubbFertal by the Crossfire player, taken down in the box, and
He's giving it late.
it was given late. Maybe advantage played, not sure there, but I have to say I thought it was a penalty when it happened, and then there was no call. You thought maybe they were out of the woods, and
Yeah, Chubb's having an interesting day. He's not doing much attacking on the left. That might be strict orders from John to not push too high because of the mismatch in speed that he has behind him. But even in the mismatch, you see, even when he stayed back and didn't attack, he got himself into trouble with a little bit too much contact with his hands and arms on that PK call.
so we'll see. It's a big ask.
That was a late call, though, for any referee.
Again, though, we will once again say we didn't have the same angle that the referee did.
Linesman gave him a thumbs up, so he's confirming that he did a good job. So I'll trust the linesman on this one. He had a good angle.
Well, according to the roster, I've got number 14, Wesley Stark. Save Bersano! How about that? And may I throw ball don't lie out there.
Yeah, that was good stuff by Bersano. Huge save, very quick getting low. His reflex, I wish I had those. His reflexes are impressive.
Yeah, no kidding. It's hard enough to guess right on a penalty, but that's only about a third of the battle.
Yeah, it looked like he was way ahead of the shooter. Was already waiting for that ball.
And I don't know if Bersano knew the book or if he guessed first or if he just saw and reacted. Whatever it is still 1-0 in favor of the home side, and we will see if the penalty call irritates Lane United enough to get another goal here. Long ball played towards Jordan Jones, and instead it's cleared by the Washington Crossfire goalkeeper. Daley Stevens with the throw-in right to Mueller. Mueller had a man in his way, and the foul will go against Washington there. 68th minute now. Bersano still looking a bit like he wants to run through a wall after making that save, and you can't blame him. A little bit of time to sort out this free kick for Lane United. Interesting strategy by the Crossfire keeper, camped out inside of his goal. Now back to the goal line.
Looks like Mueller.
Mueller will shoot, and that one looked better every second, but ends up finally curling just high. I think everyone a little bit excited after that Bersano save. But still, only 1-0, and that save could be all for naught. As it stands, though, it is a 3-point save from Matthew Bersano to preserve the lead. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of time left, though, in a game against two teams that are very evenly matched. You might look at the PDL standings. We mentioned at the opening of the broadcast, both of these teams out of playoff contention, both with less than a point a game, but in the Northwest Division, that's still not bad. Some very good teams in this corner of the PDL.
Ladies and gentlemen,
really all corners of the PDL as well.
541.
And 541, the area code and announced attendance.
Must be a sign.
And coming together here and beginning to sort of feel like we haven't had quite enough drama for a Lane United Crossfire game, and that's starting to build again and punctuated once more by the train whistle.
So a set piece should be pretty well defended. Looks like Lane United's setting up and they're ready for it. But 3 back post runners for Crossfire, 2 in particular unmarked. See if Lane picks that up.
And maybe that second ball too that's been dangerous for Lane United at times this year.
Yeah.
71st minute, and right now they're content to let Washington Crossfire take their time. Whistle coming eventually. There it is from the referee. They're ready for play. Free kick comes in looking for the head, and it hits a Lane United head, but only cleared out as far as the corner of the box. Mueller's foot in there. Knocks that one around, and now Jordan Jones runs onto the ball. Lane United take possession. Devontae Small does a good job and gets it to Daley Stevens, who's worked into that wing midfield role. Now back to Mueller.
ChubbFertal staying back again. Plenty of space. What Daley Stevens needed was an overlapping run by ChubbFertal, but once again, Chubbs might be under strict instruction to stay back, so I'll bite my tongue.
We will see. Devontae Small with it. Small trying to attack. Gets it. Mueller with it. Took a weird bounce on him, and he had to do a lot of work just to control it, and he did get the shot off, but too high. We have a substitution coming up for Lane United. And it's Josep Baldoví exiting here. He'll get a nice reception from the crowd. And Isma Hernandez. Good to see Isma back in action. Isma has some great talent and hasn't gotten too many opportunities to show it this year. Nearly scored the goal of the season very early in the year with the rocket from outside the box, but hit off the bar.
Isma had a good one last game against the Timbers as well. One that was a contender for goal of the year, I thought. Good combination, and he hit a well-hit shot off of the keeper's palms, I'll say.
So 73rd minute, Lane United trying to maintain this lead. Jordan Jones now. Hernandez in space. Isma couldn't get to it, and talk about instant impact very nearly for number 17.
Substitution for Lane United FC. Coming in for number 10, Joseph Baldoví. Number 17, Isma Hernandez. And substitution for the Washington Crossfire. Coming in for number 14, Wesley Stark. Number 19, John Ellis.
So, ball play back underway here. And a little bit sloppy from the Crossfire, nearly giving up a corner or worse, but they do eventually get it clear. And they will try to break now. Moving up the field. Attacking bit by bit, and ChubbFertal takes it away. Again, we've seen him pretty much exclusively in a defensive role today, but he moves up pitch again. That was Stadler, rather. Moving from a center back spot and now drifts back there after moving the ball up himself. Played for Isma Hernandez again. Throw in again. 75th minute. The Reds holding on to that 1-0 lead. Thanks in a large part to Matthew Bersano.
Be interesting to see if the towers, Mueller and Jones, create enough smoke for Isma to get in, or if Isma, because he's a pretty dynamic player, attracts some attention and frees one of them up. So,
yeah, it's a little bit of pick your poison with those three.
Last call for beer at the beer garden. Last call.
And free kick comes in, hits the wall. ChubbFertal backs with it. Back to Binder and crossed in again, looking for the head of Jordan Jones, and it was just barely kept in bounds by the Crossfire keeper as he plucked it out of the air. Always going to have the advantage there as a goalkeeper. That wind is starting to pick up a little bit. Binder now has it and looks back for Daley Stevens. Now back to Binder, does just keep it in. And now plays it for Mueller. Mueller backs around to Daley Stevens. And Mueller on the wing. Mueller plays the cross in, looking for Jones, and eventually collected by the Crossfire. Crossfire still attacking, 77th minute. They trail 1-0. They did have a PK. And still with the ball are the Crossfire here. As we get toward the last little bit of this game. Jordan Jones wins that header. Look out for him to knock that forward to himself. Ooh, great move there. That'll draw some olays.
That was a poster shot there.
Yeah, let's hope someone got a good picture of that. Back for ChubbFertal.
There he is.
Here he is moving forward a little bit. Maybe been given the green light. Knocked in, and great save there. Look what happens though. ChubbFertal moves up the pitch and it's a shot on target.
Yeah, he even has more space ahead of him if he wants to take it. So hopefully he catches on to that and becomes a little more consistent going forward.
So Crossfire in possession. Starting to feel when Lane United have the ball like it did the first 20 minutes of the game, where you feel like the goal is coming and a second goal would just be of such paramount importance for them here.
Mueller wide open.
They get it towards him. Mueller tried to find Jordan Jones, and eventually Jones is going to track that down. And wrapped around as a Crossfire man wrapped around him will earn the throw in. Mueller, another guy that has been really all over the field tonight.
Yeah, both sides of the ball too. He's worked
more of a midfield role almost at sometimes. We've seen him come back with defensive pressure in both the right and the left flanks. So he's done a lot of running and he's done the scoring. Casey ChubbFertal looks like he'll be coming off. And it's exactly who you thought we might see come on for him. Or come on at all.
Coming in for number 27, ChubbFertal. Number 29, Dion Jones.
So we'll see if it's a like-for-like switch or if maybe somebody else moves around. Throw-in coming up for Lane United. Towards Mueller, and now back to him. Good job there by Daley Stevens. Crossfire having a hell of a time rather trying to clear that one. Eventually they get possession.
Ooh, good read.
And eventually it's lost. Coming all the way through, Jordan Jones. Guys are running into each other for Lane United in the box. They still have it. Going down, getting back up, and a corner kick after all of that. Subs coming for Crossfire here. Kieran Gildenhuis is leaving the pitch if the roster matches. There is the corner. Dangerous one for Jones's head. He scores! Brilliantly done on the corner and just as brilliantly finished. Two Beavers scoring goals for a team based right in Oregon's backyard. But doesn't matter, that's not the team they're playing for now. Lane United lead 2-0, and that feels a lot better than one.
Yeah, he shook his mark, far post, and just a clinical finish. Let that, attack the ball with his head. I think it bounced in. Strong, direct header. It was very good, far post.
And they didn't run out of red smoke the first time, so we'll see how much more is in that canister in the 81st minute. We have seen it all from Lane United today. Great goal from Mueller on a volley, great goal on a header from Jordan Jones, a fantastic PK save from Matthew Bersano, and the Reds seem to finally be playing to the potential we thought we'd see at the beginning of the year.
That should do it. Lane will most likely continue to try to keep the ball as long as they can and just see this game out.
Yeah, you don't want to call it too soon, but the way things have been going, that certainly feels like 3 points.
But always continue to attack. Don't sit and absorb any Crossfire pressure. Just continue to play your game. Maybe a little smarter with risk, but going forward. But really just circulating the ball, keeping possession in transition like they've been doing, being able to connect right after winning the ball back, and then just killing this game. About 10 minutes of it, I bet, today. Well, 9 minutes. Maybe an extra added minute.
Plus, who knows how much stoppage time.
Who knows?
Stoppage time seemed to go on for eons against the Portland Timbers.
Yes.
I think I'm using that word correctly.
Yeah, you're right. It was a long time.
And Christian Catalunya, the number 5 for Lane United, will make an appearance, killing off this one. Good utilization of his players, and Jones in a lot of space there. Instead, Daley Stevens shoots, and no interest in playing that one off, and it was a shot on target, so you can't be too critical.
That's a huge... Oof, I'll let this happen first.
Almost tripping over the ball was Hadidi there.
Well, there was an adjustment there that can't go unnoticed. Dion goes high and wide, sort of what we were asking ChubbFertal to do, and what it did was free up or make a back have to choose between getting pulled out and marking him or tucking in to stop Daley, and he went with being stuck in between, and Daley got that shot off. So well done to Dion for creating that.
Bersano's goal kick coming. Bersano's goal kick taken. The head of Crossfire, but Binder looked to have won possession, maybe drawn a foul, but no call comes, and that one nearly out of play, but recovery by Lane United to get possession there. De Luis moves it forward for Mueller, who makes a great ball to Isma Hernandez, who tried to find Catalunya. Eventually does, and now back. Catalunya with Mueller making some runs off the ball. Catalunya still on it. Back to Hernandez. The field goal attempt is good. Lane United, they're doing a very good job since going up 2-0 of not settling. They've maybe been a little bit more aggressive in the 10 minutes after the second goal than they were in the 10 minutes after the first. Stadler having an audience with the referee. Another sub coming for Lane United. And is that Vandervelde leaving the pitch?
Yep.
It is. And goal kick goes right to the chest of a Lane United man. Dion Jones on the ball now. Jones with some of the freshest legs on the pitch, but misplayed that pass. May get back to Jones, and instead Crossfire just playing among their back defensive third there, rather. Crossfire all of a sudden needing a minor miracle. If you're a Washington Crossfire fan, you're kind of wondering what happened. And we're down 1-0, but drew a PK, and you turn away and you come back a couple of moments later and they're down 2-0. Foul against the Crossfire, and the referee did bring his cards with him, beginning to wonder. In a league where we normally see a lot of yellow cards that won't even think of the average number in a game, I believe that is our first booking of the night. And it took 86 minutes. Dion Jones will take this free kick. He has options if he wants to play it casually and options if he plays direct to the box, which he does. But it's headed away by Crossfire for that Christian Couteau who came on.
Yep, as a right back.
You've seen a lot of members of the Spanish Armada tonight. It's been the American college kids with the highlights for Lane United, though, with Mueller, Jones, and Bersano. Here's maybe another highlight for Lane United. Getting the shot in is Catalunya, but much off target.
Yeah, it's tough when you're on that much pace and have the ball on your foot and you know you want to get a shot off as soon as possible. Finding balance in that sequence would have been tough for anyone.
He did perhaps have a passing option to play in Dion Jones, but can't be too critical of the shot attempt. Didn't end up looking too pretty, but you never know. You take that shot 5 times, you might score once. Foul against Lane United, free kick for Crossfire. Our keeper will take it. 88th minute. And Matthias Binder now. Toward the 88th minute. Noticing something?
Noticing a coach walking around the field.
Oh yeah, we do seem to have some pacing going on. Very far from his technical area.
Yeah.
Getting step by step closer to the Red Aces, who have not exactly been kind to him, in fairness. Still seems to be out for a walk. In fact, I've lost sight of him. He's entirely behind the goal now. Oh, we will not make assumptions. Not really entirely sure what he's playing at, though. 89th minute. He's pretty much just in the Red Aces section now.
I don't know if that's the right spot for him, but we'll see. I did hear a chant with his name in it, so you never know.
There's been some conversations going on, or maybe one-way conversations between Billy Wiskel and the Red Aces. Dion Jones played back for Daley Stevens. And Devontae Small, Isma Hernandez. Maybe again for Hernandez and plucked out of the air, and I've entirely lost sight of him. Gabriel mentioned that, and so out of position that I didn't even see where he'd come from. Final minute of regular time here. And out of play, goal kick coming. You got eyes on Wiskel?
Yeah, he's talking to the Red Aces.
Let's, can only end well. Can't see that I've ever seen anything quite like that.
No.
I suppose technically he's liable to be booked at this point, isn't he? He's nowhere near the bench. And maybe that's a part, maybe he was and there was something we didn't see.
Yeah.
That's, I can't, I mean, I get that you're, you know, down 2-0 in stoppage time, but I can't really see a logical explanation to be the entire opposite end of the field away from your bench. Here's a chance for some consolation for Crossfire. Still a chance for it. Bersano diving, gets a paw to it out of the box, and he retreats back into his proper area. As Lane United take possession away. We're into stoppage time. The Reds are up 2-0, and they're going to win this game. Can they make it 3 at the death is the question.
Oof.
Back to Binder, who's played an outstanding 90 minutes again, just kind of pacing things, and that's plucked out of the air by the Crossfire keeper. Any moment now should be the end of this one. We'll have to watch and see if we can see any players putting fingers up in the air. That's the only way we have to remotely guess the stoppage time. And that's for Mueller. Mueller turning around his man and had the ball chip up away from him, but he still keeps it. Bender back to Mueller with his back to goal, and he plays it for the wing. Mueller still with it. And trying to work through the box was Timmy Mueller. Crossfire taking it away, but in no particular hurry. And that's played over the top. Stadler gonna chase it down, and it's a throw-in. It's Crossfire's throw-in. Is got a player there's falling down in front of the stands. Now back to the middle. They're trying to do anything to get that clean sheet away from Matthew Bersano, who has 10,000% deserved it tonight.
Mueller wants to finish this thing off with the second goal.
Mueller indeed, and has it taken away from him, but he'll go and chase it down and would have earned the throw-in if not for the final whistle. So an outstanding couple of games for Lane United. And I think all it was, I think Billy Wiskel just wanted to take a picture of the Red Aces. So they've earned the new fan tonight. Jeez. And I got to wonder what was going through their heads as he was walking over to them. The final score, though, 2-0, and an absolute MVP performance from Matthew Bersano. Made a couple of big saves, none bigger than the PK save when it was still 1-0. Timmy Mueller and Jordan Jones combined for the 2 goals, and that's going to do it for us. And that's going to do it for the 2015 PDL campaign for Lane United for home games. Anyway, one more against Calgary north of the border, and one more at the Willamalane Center. One final friendly that'll be on Sunday against Bellingham United of the Evergreen Premier League. So one more time, Jordan Jones and Timmy Mueller score. Matthew Bersano saves a penalty kick. Lane United come out with a 2-0 victory over the Washington Crossfire. For Gabriel Hernandez, my name is Isaac Rosenthal. Thank you so much for watching and for listening, and have a wonderful night.